Yes, and I've got fingerless gloves. You can take the piss out of us. Fair enough. But these are gloves. The gloves are off, Mr. Bruce. Show us your cards. What did you reveal today? You revealed a 4-4-2. A 4-4-2, which was basically a 4-4-2 in your own half for large chunks of the game. Oh, frustration. I'm not going to fucking go wild. I mean, I might throw in a few F-bombs, but that's just because that's how I show my passion. That's how I show me aggression as well. But this is the wrap-up of the final videos of all of tonight. We'll have a look at, of course, the lineups. We'll talk about the major chances and the goals. We'll also talk about Bruce, of course. Of course, we'll talk about Bruce because he needs to go. The league table, where we are currently at the minute. And we also have Mr. Bruce on audio. Yeah, Cabbageed. The Villa derby coming up. His derby this Saturday. Did you know that? And then we've also got a clip from Brandon as well, who's a bit concerned as well with Newcastle's form at the minute. So welcome, everybody. Hope you're doing okay as well. Unbeaten. I would love to say it's unbeaten. Yes, I do apologise. We're definitely not unbeaten in 9 games. Fucking hell, this is what it's doing with me. Fuck me, Steve Bruce. It's we haven't won, in 9 games. Fucking hell, Lee. Speak right, Howie. Sort your act. Gather yourself together. Howie, you've got a show to put on. Right, hello, everybody. Right, we'll start that again, shall we? Right, this is the last word. Let's crack on with it as well. By the way, your looks, well, have you been benching, I reckon? Says live goals as well. No, this is an extra large top that makes us look bigger. That's what it is, Mr. Gregory Goals. Let's crack on with it, shall we? Let's get into it. So we'll begin with the Arsenal side, shall we? So let's have a look at this. So this is the Arsenal side. It was a very strong side that Mikel Arteta went out with. So, I mean, when you look at it and you think, yeah, it's very strong, because if you look at that bench, really, it's what Willian is probably one of the other starters in there. But yeah, it was strong. We expected Arteta to go strong. They haven't had a game since they played Palace, and obviously they were shocking against Crystal Palace, to be honest with you. But in terms of the Newcastle, that was the big one, which I'm going to come back to the lineup a little bit later on. But looking at Newcastle's lineup, you thought, all right, okay, he's got to be brave with the lineup as well. I'll just take the ticker off the bottom. So you can see on the bench there, Dubravka, Ritchie, Hayden, Hendrick, Manquillo, Yedlin, Murphy, Sean Longstaff, Elliot Anderson. First of all, who's missing? And Sam made a great point earlier on the day. No Fabian Schär, out of contract in 6 months. No Federico Fernandez, out of contract in 6 months. No Dwight Gale, out of contract in 6 months. When he said the other night, Bruce, I'm going to do it my way, has he not had the dressing room on his side? Are these troublemaking players that he's listed? I don't think Federico Fernandez would be one. I'm just speculating there. I'd love to know what your thoughts are on these topics as well. But looking at the lineup side of things as well, Emile Kraft come in. For me, the right back position needs to be nailed. We do not have a permanent right back, and Bruce doesn't know his best right back because you've seen 6 people play there this season, including the wing back system. You've had Kraft, you've had Yedlin. It might be 5 actually. You've had Kraft, Yedlin. You've had Manquillo, you've had Hayden play there. You've also had Murphy play there as well. So, not good, is it? Not good. And Jamal Lascelles came back. Was that a game too soon for him? Looked a little bit off the pace second half. Jamal Lewis come back. John Joe Shelvey tonight, I was absolutely shocking tonight. Shocking performance. You know, I was up for Shelvey coming in. I was excited to see him because he drives the ball forward, and fuck me, it was atrocious. The neat, like, it was shit. Absolute shit. The best player on that lineup tonight was Miguel Almiron. And even though I hate him playing on the right-hand side, yes, I know he's coming back and cutting with his left foot, but he was by far the best of a really, really bad bunch. Joe Litton, fuck me. Is he an actual footballer? Andy Carroll muscling himself about. Wilson had a poor game. He barely got any service tonight. So there's a lot of them. There's a lot who were very, very poor tonight. So not a great. And we'll talk about, obviously, the chances, and we'll come back and talk more about Bruce very, very shortly as well. But in terms of looking at the game, first of all, the first real chance was Aubameyang, who should have scored, really. That was Arsenal's real big chance in that first half. Don't know how he missed it. Open goal. Maybe he's off balance and he hits the woodwork. and it ricochets back out. That was Arsenal's best chance, but largely in large spells, we kept them fairly quiet. However, Arsenal kept going down our right back towards Emile Kraft. Now, Kraft was, when we had possession, he was too far advanced, and that's where they were coming in behind. But defensively, when he was in position, first half, Kraft was fine. Kraft was dealing with it, had no problems with it, except from when he was getting a little bit too far forward and he was leaving gaps behind us as well. And then if you take a look at Newcastle's best and really only chance, and I can say the Jamal Lascelles header was tame and it on target, but it's not really a chance. However, let's face it, Miguel Almiron, who I say was the best player at night, and I didn't think he scores any higher than a 6, to be honest. And that tells the whole story of all the squad they need. But he was on the right hand side. He's trying to find a bit of movement. He's coming into the left flank. He's coming in towards the box. He gets the ball back. I think it was off Carroll. He has a shot. Not facing towards the goal when he does take the shot because he's leaning and turning. But that was Newcastle's best chance, and that's all we had. And yeah, it's a sad state of affair when you get into half time and you think to yourself, do you know what? We're actually alright, considering we're not actually getting battered. And that's the logic now, that we have to cope and suffer under Steve Bruce. That our hope is to try and get it in half time, not conceding, not getting beat, not getting hammered. And Arsenal weren't great in that first half. Newcastle weren't either. We weren't going forward as well. So we'll come to your comments before we get on to that second half. Steve McGarry says, how can Richie not be starting as well? He's too slow usually as well. Sean says Arsenal were playing a 4-2-3-1 and we should have matched up as well. I can't stand the bloke, even now, down the pathetic faces he pulls when he stood on the touchline as well. Joe Litton has got something in his contract. Yeah, why is Joe Litton starting every fucking game, man? What does he bring? Elliot Anderson, the young lad, would bring a lot more. Stan Flaherty, who's also in the 20 things, who can play there, will bring a lot more than what Joe Litton can. He's just not even good enough for even championship. I think Joe Litton is proven in the AFL that he looks better against League One teams and League Two. Federico is injured as well, says James. Thank you for clearing that up for me as well. I haven't noticed that. Can we just get EVB? That's a good shout. That's a bit left field as manager as well. So I feel bad for Mickey, says Nubby as well. But we'll come back to your comments. But I want to go back into the second half, and we'll go 1-0 down. And it's Cratho has the ball and he crosses and he's out of position and he's running back, and it's frustrating because Newcastle have hardly anybody back. You can see in your picture that John Joe and Matty are running back as best they can. The centre backs are trying to run best as they can. Aubameyang loves that. He's very teary on where we'll come off that left flank and come in towards the goal. Personally, I think Darlow should be saving it. I think Darlow goes down a little bit too easy for me. Darlow, for his standards this season, that's poor. The blame is not on Darlow, but he should be doing better. He should be standing up to saving that. However, the defence are just caught out, and it's not the first time that Newcastle were caught out like this, because the goals, especially the first two, are all very similar to each other. Oh, fucking hell. The second goal, which came very quick after one another, it's very, very similar to the Aubameyang goal, where he's against the counter. Jamal Lascelles has to be pushed out wide, and for me, Jamal Lascelles has to stop that cross coming in. It's pulled back. Kraft, I have to pick a Kraft. What the fuck is Emile Kraft doing? Just jogging back, not bursting a gut to get back when Aubameyang is up against Lascelles on our right-hand side. So Jamal Lascelles is pulled out of position because Kraft is just running like Shaggy, thinking, Scottish knack! Fuck off, Kraft. Then the ball is pulled back. Saka is free. Kieran Clark maybe should be a bit tighter towards him. Maybe a midfielder should be picking up Saka. But it's 2-0, and it's Soonzagan's in. It is literally game over, because Soonzagan's 2-0. We're not going to score. We'll score one. We're fucking lucky, and that's a penalty or a deflection or a set piece or something like that. But the 3-0 Arsenal take the piss out of celebrations. Obviously, they're not meant to be celebrating together. Social distance and blah, 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 blah. That debate's for another video. But is the ball out of play? Cedric, probably just in, if I'm trying to be neutral. But just before Cedric pulls that back, going a little bit back, Kieran Clark's very lethargic, passing it. You've got to look at him for that. You've got to look at our left back situation on that. Jamal Lewis, Cedric runs through, he's free, he cuts it back, and then it's 3-0. Thank you very much. I mean, Aubameyang must love playing against us because the lad couldn't even score all season, 3 Premier League goals, and then he's just bagged, 3 in 2 games against them, man. Oh, everybody must love coming up against Newcastle's defensive midfield, but going forward, Bruce went with 4-4-2. Oh, the gloves are off. We're expecting something different. We got that from the lineup. We expected a much better performance. Bruce has said first half was better. Was it better than Sheffield United? Marginally first half, aye. But we're just surrendering, man. We've got so many parked behind the bus. It doesn't matter who we play, whether it's fucking Brentford, whether it's Sheffield United, whether it's Arsenal, whether it's Aston Villa. Aston Villa, right, if they win all of their 3 games in hand this Saturday, they win, and their 3 games in hand, they go joint second. Joint second if they win their games in hand. So we're not up against a team who's any mugs this weekend. So I cannot see it changing. I cannot see this changing unless there's a change where we get rid of Bruce, but not just Bruce, but Bruce and his coaching staff have got to go. For me, the whole lot have got to go. You can't have Clemens sticking around. You can't have, unfortunately, Steve Harper around for me. The whole lot, all the Steves have got to go for me. Every single one of them. Steve Agnew has had got to go. Get rid of all the Steve Newcastles. Get rid of them, Steve Castles. For me, the coaching staff is just not doing it for me. Because remember, Simon Smith is the goalkeeping coach. Steve Harper's a coach. Anyways, I'm going to take a breather. I'm going to bring Brandon in, who's pretty obviously deflated, depressed about that.
What we have to do, for me, is sack Bruce. The football's so negative. Playing now 4-4-2 when the gloves are off. It doesn't make any sense. We're not going anywhere. It's fucking depressing. I have no words. It's not going to get easy as well. You know what I mean? I think we need a new manager in. Some fresh blood who can motivate the players again, because they look like they're fucking done with Bruce as well. They don't want to play with him anymore. They know all his talk. Let's have a crack. They heard it as well, probably in the dressing room. Let's have a crack and see where we end up. It's a fucking joke. In the next 9 games, we would be lucky if we pick up 5 points. I seriously think we're gonna get relegated right now after seeing this crap. Yeah, I don't know what to say. I'm speechless. I just hope some players will be brought in, which I don't see happening as well. Or Bruce to be gone.
Yeah, so that was Brandon. Obviously, he was struggling to put it out together when I asked him for his clip, but he's pretty deflated. He was on the watch along with me, Carl, Sam as well. Chinese Jody, nice to see you, mate. One of our members, Joe Litton, is as usual Joel Station. Absolute Jack. You sure he's Brazilian? I just want to go back to the line. We'll hear from Bruce in a minute, and we'll also get some Bruce quotes, which is probably going to wind you up, to be honest, because it's going to wind me up. I'll probably get irate when I start reading the mood. But I just want to go back to the lineup and just pick on a few players who I think also it's Bruce's fault. I'm not going to deny that, but I think a few of the players need to look at themselves as well. If you look at that lineup tonight and you think yourself, who's not playing for the manager in terms of putting all the effort in here? Joe Litton, you can easily point the finger at Joe Litton every single week. So why is he playing? How is Joe Litton, right, from a neutral, not even Newcastle fans like me, you're watching, how is Joe Litton performing better to warrant a place? Never mind the Stubbs bench, because he's only been benched about 3 or 4 times in his whole Newcastle career. How is he starting? How is he a better footballer than sometimes Miguel Almiron, sometimes Ryan Fraser, because they're not always starters. Elliot Anderson, who looks even brighter than him. Obviously, we'll talk about him quite a lot in the Under-23 channel. The Under-23 is on NFTV Extra, sorry. How is he better than Jacob Murphy? He's not. How is he starting every fucking game? How is that? There has to be something that stipulates in his contract that he has to play or start 80% or 90% of games, because he's got nothing. He's got no midfield link up. He's got no end product. He's got no announce about him to get around the box. He's not a Premier League or a Championship footballer. And he's not the only one. John Joe Shelby was shit in it. And John Joe Shelby has come under massive criticism tonight. This was his big chance to perform against a big side. I know Arsenal are shite at the minute and they're not doing very well. I know they're winning games again. But they've had a shit season, right? John Joe Shelby's time to come into that midfield. And I was excited. I said earlier on in the video, I was excited to see John Joe come in. Thought, right, we've got 2 up top, and we might have a bit more about a Shelby forward pass. Fucking shite tonight. He's fucking crap. Nothing going forward. None of the running. Matty was chasing shadows. Matty didn't perform any good either. I'm not sticking up for Matty either. Yes, he's one of our own, and we want him to do well, but he was just running around. Dean now barely had a kick of the ball. So there's a few of them there tonight. Emile Kraft's not a Premier League player. Jamal Lascelles, is he the same player what he used to be? No, he's not. Kieran Clark, he's had a couple of errors come into his game lately. Is he reliable? Mostly the time, yes. But Hayden on the bench. Why is Isaac Hayden on the bench? Is he trying to put a statement out that Hayden's on the bench? Matt Ritchie, I forgot about him. He could play ahead of Joe Litton every day of the week. He offers a hell of a lot more. Might not have the legs, Matt Ritchie, but he'd give you a lot more work rate and endeavour and passion. Jeff Hendrick's a joke. Jeff Hendrick's a waste of a joke. DeAndre Yedlin doesn't want to be at the club. Sean Longstaff has gone backwards in his Newcastle career. Jacob Murphy, 6 months left on his deal. He looks bright. He should be starting ahead of Joe Litton. There's loads I can go through, even the players who are missing, the players who were rested or dropped or whatever you call it, like Fabian Schär. Fabian Schär doesn't want to be here. He'll be out in the summer. He'll be gone. He'll get in the Bundesliga. There's loads, man. I could go on and on and on. Half the squad, are they really playing for that manager? They're not. If that was, and again, nobody likes to compare Rafa, but just for this brief period, if that was Rafa Benitez in right now, Rafa Benitez takes no shit. You would play for that manager and work, or you just didn't play. Simple as that. Simple as that. And we're going to hear from Bruce. I'm sorry I have to do this to you, but brace yourselves, because we'll be back with you in a minute.
Well, at the first half, there was, we got ourselves in decent positions and didn't take advantage of it, but I didn't see that coming to be 2 down within an hour. We've been caught just after half-time, high up the pitch, and been punished. 2 passes and an in-on goal with us, and we've repeated it 5 minutes later. And that's the situation we found ourselves in. But we're having a difficult moment at the moment. That little bit of confidence, it ebbs away at you. And, we're on a difficult run, of course, and the only way through it is to keep working away and hope that results change and bring that little bit of confidence back. We've got the ability to change. We've played 2 strikers and won, I think, the 5 games we've won. We've played with 2 strikers. So it's not just alien to us. We have played it in probably 50% of the games this year. We weren't good enough in the first half against Sheffield United. I have to say, though, we were still beaten. We had 10 men and we were beaten by a dubious penalty. So, a lot has been written about it, and I understand the first half performance. But I've seen more improvements today, especially in the first half. Unfortunately, we've been caught just after half-time, which has won the match.
Yeah, I know he's doesn't like you and Steve Bruce, but we do want to get the reaction. Do you notice the 2 lies what he mentioned there? In particular, the one I want to pick up mostly is that we played 50% of our games this season 4-4-2. Are we? Oh, well, fuck. How we fuck played 4-4-2 half the fucking games this season? What fucking planet are he on? We might have played a 4-2-3-1 or fucking 10 at the back, or 5 at the back if you want to put it on the team sheet, but we've not fucking played 4-4-2 half of our games this season. Another fucking lie to come into it. Oh, fuck off, man, Bruce, man. Fuck right off from our club, man, you fucking cretin. Looking at the quotes, what he said, right? And credit Lee Ryder for putting these out as well. Lee Ryder, okay, asked if there were harsh words at full time tonight. Steve Bruce said, whatever is said remains in the dressing room. Stays there, but the word harsh words, no. So he's just said whatever is said remains in the dressing room, right? Say that again. Whatever is said remains in the dressing room, stays there. But then he admits there's no harsh words said. So why the fuck are you saying doubting yourself in the same bastard sentence? Right? Okay. Off topic. Anyway, going on to the next one. In the classic, this is a fucking Steve Bruce classic. We'll dust ourselves down, get that confidence back, and try and win games wherever we can. How the fuck can you dust yourself down? What the fuck does that mean? Does that mean you'll analyse the game and go, oh, well, Jamal, you weren't very good there, but that's okay. I'll put my arm around you, love, and you can play Saturday and you can go up against Jack Grealish. No, in fact, Emile Kraft
come here, son. I'll put my arm around you. It's all right. You done okay. You know, you stopped at Aubameyang. You only got 2 goals. It could have been 6.
Fuck off, Bruce, man. What does that mean, right? It's the same shit. It's the same excuses. How do you get confidence back then, Steve? Tell me how you get your confidence back. How do you gain the confidence? Are you just going to play the same bastard shit way every single game? Because that's how we're playing. How could granted you've changed the formation tonight, right? Okay, so that's the thing I'll say positive about it. But how get the confidence and try, not we will, not we are, we will try and win. The mindset is totally fucking different to our previous manager. And I didn't want to keep comparing them, but it's totally different. Whereas you trust the previous manager to do it, you have belief. Whereas Steve Bruce, you don't have it whatsoever because you don't trust what he's saying, what he believes in. You didn't. It's like, what's going on in the dressing room? Who owns that dressing room? I asked that on the watch along earlier on. When you're in that dressing room, who are the loud ones? Who are the leaders in that dressing room? It's not fucking Steve Bruce. I'm sorry, like, it's not Steve Bruce. It'll be a couple of players who will speak up, and I bet there's a couple of them. I bet the couple cannot wait to see the back of him. Because why would you play under this shit manager who has no ounce of tactics? He's a fucking dinosaur, and for him to be in the game, and he said something the other day when we done the black and white show. He said the other day, right, that my CV is looking at the bottom half and that's my job. But he's also, if you look at his record, walked away from a lot of clubs. He's took 2 clubs down, which he never brings up. He failed to bring Aston Villa up, spent a shit ton of money. He's a mid-table championship manager level. That's what he is, and he's out of his depth at this club, and I'm sick of repeating every fucking game. If the board are worried about the position, fuck me, you should be, because we're sliding very, very fast. Right? Speaking of the board, right? He's speaking in third-party mode, right? Third-person mode, sorry. Steve Bruce asked about his position by Match of the Day. I'm trying to do the best I can possibly can, as always, but you always have to ask others about that. So when he says others, he means Charlie and Ashley. Why doesn't he say that? Because he says that he speaks to Lee Charlie almost every day, and he speaks to Mike Ashley every so often, right? So why is he coming out saying that? Or you can go and ask them. The reason why is because reporters don't have no fucking access to Lee Charney, so Bruce can get away saying you will have to ask the others about that. That's because the likes of BBC, The Chronicle, Sky, BT, all of that have no access to the leadership, so the question cannot be asked. He's dodging it because he knows that he can dodge that question. The fucker should be sacked. He fucking should be. You should really, really be sacked because he's not good enough for any, not even our club. Fuck me, I wouldn't even wish it on Aston Villa again, because even though the Aston Villa fans bant against this channel a lot, whether we win or lose, fuck me, I wouldn't want Steve Bruce back in Premier League clubs. Fucking hell. Fucking no way. Fucking hell. League table. Look at the league table now. So Newcastle have played the 18 games. We've got what game in hand against Aston Villa on the weekend. Well, most of other Premier League teams are in FA Cup action. And again, I'll say it again. Look at Fulham. Fulham now have a game in hand, right? Fulham win their game in hand, which is capable because they are playing well. And now they got beat up Chelsea with a red card, which didn't help. But they are actually playing well. They're picking up a few points against some bigger teams as well. If Fulham win that game in hand, that's then I can't even count now, 4 points behind us. So we're literally dragged into it. I think we're in it now, but I think that cushion is all about the Fulham. In West Brom, remember, won, so they'll have a bit of a bounce. We're going to be very, very careful looking at that. And it's trigger button time because the board, if they had any fucking sense, would get rid of Steve Bruce. They really, really would, because we cannot play. It's suffocating the life out of every Newcastle fan, man. I say it. You shouldn't fucking... When I see it on Twitter, I get pissed off when people say, you know what, I didn't like watching Newcastle. It should never, ever, ever be like that as a Newcastle fan, ever. You shouldn't have fans going on social media saying, I can't stand the way we play. I can't stand our manager. I can't stand our ownership. We as Newcastle fans should never, ever be saying that. And now we've got shit owners, but we should always say, oh, what a brilliant manager. What a brilliant owner. I would love to be in that position. But for a fan to then turn around and say, I can't stand the way we're watching, that actually hurts me as a fellow fan, because we shouldn't have to suffer watching our team. Steve Bruce, I know that there's a bigger picture and he can go on about Mike Ashley, what have you, and blah, 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 transfer money. But this players this players, right, even if we don't spend any money whatsoever, there is better managers at this level without spending any money who can do better than Steve Bruce. There is totally a lot. Who is that manager? I don't know. I don't have the answer for you. But right now, the best coach at Newcastle United is not a fucking coach. The best coach at Newcastle United is head of youth development, Ben Dawson. He is by far the best coach at Newcastle. Period. Look at his results. He's came up from the foundation, totally revamped the under-23s, nearly had them promoted, and then the club decided to fucking not get rid of him, promote him to head of development. He's the best coach because if you look at our first team coaches, no, they're not even fucking. Ben Dawson, I'll say it again, Ben Dawson's the best coach at Newcastle United, and he's not even listed as a fucking coach. Tells a sound story, that's my belief. If you think Steve Bruce is better than Ben Dawson, then you can click off this video and go and unsubscribe because he's fucking not. He's fucking not, like. Right, that is it for me. Thank you very much for watching, everybody. Watch what he's doing. Ta-da.